From the bottom, we out here getting it. Don't know what a limit is. Only surround yourself with people you plan to finish with. Consistency the key, unlock the door to your dreams. Prepare, plan, and execute, complete, and then repeat.
What up? Back with another episode of From the Bottom podcast. As always, we got your host Fitz. We got Ty.
What it do? What it do?
We got Shalisha.
Hi.
We got Tati.
Hello.
All right. For all of our subscribers, make sure you like our videos, comment, like, share, all that great stuff. If you have not liked the podcast, make sure you go like the channel, like all these videos, share, get us out there, help us help other people, show support in any way you can.
Getting it out the mud, show us some love.
Yep. What Tati said. Go follow us on Instagram at Fitzmindset.com. Also, no, I'm just playing. How y'all been?
I was about to say that was a big also. I was prepared for something.
Yep. How have y'all been? Any news, anything interesting, funny, anything happened during your week you want to get off your chest?
I wouldn't say like interesting, new, or funny. I mean, I would say like new. I'm almost done with my courses for the real estate. We're in the proctored exams part. So we're trucking along there. I officially started reorganizing and repacking. So like my brain is like, girl, you about to move across state. Like it's in that mode. So I have my little freak out moments.
Yo, I gotta stop you right there.
Why?
This person done called me 3-4 times on the phone talking about I'm freaking out. Every week I get a random call thinking somebody done died, somebody in the hospital.
Wait, don't make it seem like I don't randomly call you throughout the week.
No, you randomly call me.
I do my check-ins.
You check in, but I get those ones like she'll start it off all cool and chill, and it's like I'm freaking out. I don't know what's going on, and I'm just like, I don't know how to deal with this because I'm kind of like I'm like a harsh person, so I don't know like when I say something is like comes off as ruthless, and I've been told, sometimes I just want somebody to listen, but I think that that's pretty funny. I just get a random call like I don't know what's going on. I'm like
it's so random.
Yeah, it's like at 2 o'clock or something. It's 2 o'clock. Oh, there's Shalisha.
It's like my mind kicks in. It's like, okay, freak out moment. And then I'll be like, oh my God. And then I'll be like, let me call Robert.
Right.
And then I'll be like, let me call Zach. I've been calling both of them all the time. He's so just glad about it. Like he's just so nonchalant. And I'm over here about to have a whole nervous breakdown. And he's just like, well, okay.
You moving 2 states away.
One day I'm gonna pick up the phone. She's gonna be like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening no more. I'm just gonna start acting hysterical. I'm gonna be like, oh no, it's all over with. You're done.
Stupid,
this is the end. 2012. The Mayans are coming.
I'm
just
done.
a total meltdown. That's what everybody said 2012 was about.
The Mayans was not coming.
That's what everybody said.
The Mayans was not coming.
They predicted something.
Yeah, okay, they predicted something.
They're not coming back from the dead.
I don't know.
And there's some that survived too, and they living and they not coming.
See, there's different stories.
Oh Lord.
She acting like
she's moving across country.
Right?
Shalisha talking about I'm moving across the country. What?
I'm not. Did I say that? No, I meant I'm moving states.
Texas is like big though.
I mean,
but
for me, this is like a big.
Over.
It's a big step though for me to take this journey on my own. And yes, I've lived in different states, but it was never like okay, we're gonna move here and have this whole plan to shush your mouth, better ourselves in our life. It was like every time I moved before, it was because I had to. But now it's more so about just taking control of my life and exploring and trusting in myself and my intuition and getting out my little comfort zone. So yeah, I have my freak out moments, and they've been coming a lot. And kudos to Robert for listening to my freak out moments, because they do be random. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yo, when Ty be moving, like he left from Florida to Chicago, he was just like, "Yep, leaving next week."
You feel me?
Got bounced. Next thing I know, he taking pictures downtown. He with some dogs, and they playing in the snow, and he got him a bike.
Yeah.
He got a new hoodie every week. He doing his thing.
You feel me?
But yeah, everybody reacts differently, but you're still making the move. That's all that matters. Still making the move. Every time we say something like a hypothetical, she's like, well, y'all better let me know because I'm about to be there. And it's like, Fred, nobody's changing plans. Nobody's doing that. We done already
subconscious, bro. That's crazy.
We done already signed the lease. She act like she's gonna be 5 minutes away, and we like, oh yeah, we in Alabama. we went to Wisconsin. Peace, we're out. Nah, you got a place. You're gonna be here. We'll be here for you.
They ain't gonna offer you no moral support, but they'll be there for you.
Tati will. Tati's more of like a people person.
Yeah, no, they both help me a lot.
She's like a conversator. She's like the what? What happened?
She does. She does.
She'll be all into the story, and by the time you finish with it, you like feeling like it was a whole thing that happened. She'd be like, "What? No." I'm like, all right.
I love how she does that though, because sometimes I'll be talking to Robert on the phone, and he don't be seeming that interested, like at all, about what I'm talking about. And then Tati come in clutch with that. Oh no, wait, what happened? And then I feel like somebody's actually listening to me. So I love it.
Frogs can't fly, huh?
I love it.
It did what? What do you do? Let's hear from Tatiana. What do you do?
I don't know. I just do what I do. I don't record it. I don't practice it. I just am me.
Yeah.
Sounds like some Queen stuff. I am, therefore I am. I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it. I'm liking that hat. Where'd you get? What does that hat say on it? Let's see the.
You're so extra.
Fitzmindset.
Shameless plug.
Fitzmindset. Oh, what? We got matching hats. I didn't even know. Wow, that's crazy. That's wild. That is just crazy.
Just want to give a quick shout out before we move into the next segment.
What you got to show? Who you got to shout out?
Give a good old shout out to Zet at Daily Spark Coffee in Henderson, Nevada. Go check it out if you haven't checked it out. Shalisha works there.
Where you get the States? Where you get the name?
This guy done glad to know everything.
I'm a bandwagon. Okay, shout out to Zet, the MVP.
Whoa.
That's my dog. No, I don't feel like you did her justice. Hey, girl.
He did the best he could.
Hey.
She out here acting like Kanye West. They didn't let me finish, bro.
But I'm gonna let you finish.
Like,
shout out to Zed, her husband, her kids, her dog. You know, they hold it down being entrepreneurs.
But I do want to show you guys something. So I've been talking about these last few weeks about starting a new series called 365 Till I Die. I started this series called Coaching in the Car, but there's another series that I'm starting as well called 365 Till I Die. So I went ahead and paid someone, a professional, to make the intro for it, and I was gonna release it on the podcast here. So I'm gonna share my screen real quick and do what it does. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Okay.
Make it do what it do.
Here we go. Okay. I got to do the thing where I put it full screen because I got stuff in the background, and then it start recording the background, and
yeah, we don't need to see that
extra. Gotta get the name. Okay. Let's see. All right. Let me know if you guys could see this.
No.
I haven't done it yet.
Oh.
Okay. Can y'all see this?
Yeah.
All right. Let me know if you can hear it. You might not be able to hear it, but here's the intro. It's like 8 seconds.
Today, tomorrow.
Okay.
What do you want? Today, tomorrow, forever. 365 till I die.
Did you guys
That's
hear
you,
it?
right?
Yeah, that
wanna
was
give
my
us-
voice.
Give a shout out to Fitz for following his rap career and his dreams.
I got a reaction for you.
I wasn't even rapping. I was just saying, you gotta have like a tagline, you know. So
like
you
that.
got it, bro. You good.
you gotta have like a little intro. And I've been trying to do stuff by myself lately. Like I've been trying to create websites and do all this stuff, the social media marketing. And I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna spend another week doing this. I'm just gonna pay. And then the dude was able to get it done in like less than 24 hours. So I put the order in yesterday and I think I got it today at like 11. So got that. Now I just got to start recording the material, but yeah. He also made an outro too. So that
Let
was
me see.
cool. All right, let me get the outro.
You
I
might
like
as well
the
go
way
put
they
this
made
on.
your voice sound.
The outro, I didn't do my voice. The outro is just, you know, something to get people to subscribe.
Yeah, but I like in your intro. I like how your voice sounds.
Thank you. I
I
gotta
like how
get
your
it.
voice sounds
a-
today on the
A
podcast.
sports announcer.
Huh?
Boys, stop playing with me. I'm sick. I'm here. Okay?
Barely.
Raspy voice and all. We're here.
Sound like 50 Cent and Get Rich or Die Trying with the braces.
I'm done.
All right, can y'all see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta cover. All right.
Okay. That's fancy.
I like
That's
that.
official.
Yeah.
He hooked me up with the background music and everything. So I sent him that recording of my voice or whatever. It was just like a quick, that's what I'm saying. You got all the tools you need. I just did that quick little voice thing. Took me 5 minutes. Just did like an audio on my iPhone, sent it to him with that, and just told him, I gave him the logo.
How
and
much
then
did it all cost?
It cost $20.
For the intro and the outro?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
And that was him putting the
Really?
background music. That was him. Everything you just saw was $20.
Where'd you
Fancy.
find them at?
Fiverr.
that.
It's called Fiverr. And I also put my coaching services up on Fiverr too. But you can pretty much get anything on Fiverr, any service that you want. Like that's $20, and that's gonna go on 365 videos. And that $20, you know, adds quality to the product and it makes it look more professional and everything. And just that can get people to want to say, oh, let's check this out, you know.
Speaking of your coaching, what number can people text and what do they text to it to get access to that free manual?
Yeah.
The number is 22828, and you want to text Fitzmindset to 22828. That's Fitzmindset to 22828. All right, let's get into the conversation for today. So,
Let's go.
Text to that number to get a free manual.
a free assessment, a free core beliefs assessment. And
It's a good one too. I did it. I'm stumped on some questions.
telling you, you're missing out
Yeah,
if you're
it's a
not
good
taking
one.
advantage of it. It's free. I do that for y'all. And hopefully after this conversation today, maybe some people will hit it up. But without further ado, we got a podcast to get to. So, wow, this topic here, I feel like is going to touch some nerves. And it's definitely an interesting topic. And the reason why I chose this topic is because I feel like this is one of those things where it's almost like a victim mentality, in my opinion. And I think that there's this, and maybe you guys may disagree. I'll get the statement out there. But what do you guys think of just the idea of nice people finish last? What do you think of when you hear that? Do you think nice people finish last? Why or why not?
I think it's the ones who persevere that come out on top. And I think what tends to happen to nice people are, people who are honest, people who have good intentions, people who try to do right by people. They get taken advantage of by people who don't have such good intentions. And I think what can happen to nice people is, if it's nice with a side of naivety, if that's how you say, being naive, I think that's where we see the problem. So I don't think it's just being nice. If you're nice but you're aware, then I think you can avoid those their bad intentions and their lying and manipulation. But if you're nice with a side of naive, then that's where issues can come about. Something that comes to mind are like the McDonald brothers who got taken advantage of by that dude, who came in and they had that verbal agreement. If you've seen the Founder, it's a movie, and they talk about what happened to them, and in the end they had this verbal agreement that they were supposed to be getting 1% of the total profits from McDonald's, the company, every year. But because it wasn't written on paper and they didn't have the wealth that this other guy had amassed to fight him in court, they had no way of making sure they got that 1%. And so they basically got cut out the deal when they're the ones who started the business.
That's a good example. That's a good example. So nice with the side of naiveness equals getting taken advantage of. I like that. What do you think, Shalisha?
I don't know. I've been thinking about it, and I don't really know how to answer this question, because it's like,
where do
okay,
you fall
so
at? Like, where do you think you fall?
I wouldn't call it finishing last. Like, you may have not got the end result that you wanted to get at the end, but that doesn't mean that you finished last. I mean, it's all a learning experience. It's all a growing experience. I feel like people are naive in a lot of situations, like Tati said, but I wouldn't say they finished last. I feel like if you are walking with good intentions and you have the right intentions, morals, all that stuff, then I don't see how you could finish last. Just because somebody else isn't, I wouldn't say, I guess you could say, walking as righteous as you doesn't mean that. I mean, I guess it just depends on how you perceive it. If you take that as an L in that you lost, then you're going to have to do some reevaluating on what you let affect you, because you missed a whole bunch of stuff that could help you grow throughout that process, but you're still stuck up on you didn't get what you wanted. So that's why you feel like you finished last.
I want to add that I think that doing the right thing will almost always put you out on top over the person who chose to do things the dirty way, the wrong way. I think, just how that makes you feel as a person, and how
Right.
whether you're out here throwing shade and dirt on other people, I think that's always going to, I mean, I think for most people that you would hope that eats away at them. Some people it doesn't affect them. But no, I think if you take the high road, if you do the right things, I think you're always going to at least feel like you're coming out on top regardless.
Right. Because
What do you
you
think,
can
Kai?
sleep better at night knowing you did the right thing.
Right.
I didn't want to interrupt. Oh man.
But
I don't even have the voice for it.
I wouldn't. I think good people finish where they finish. I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people get lost. Like I said before on different episodes, we talked about taking it all for granted. So you living in it, but you worried about what's to come next, and you so focused on what's to come next that it ends. Sometimes things ain't supposed to last forever. You might, run into some money, big time money, and that's the only and last time you're gonna run into something like that. So I wouldn't say they finish last. I think they finish, but they keep trying to hang on, and it leaves them at the bottom eventually. So I think people finish where they want to, but then they just finish at the bottom because they don't know when to let go.
so are you saying that regardless of whether people are nice or mean or whatever, you're saying people will finish where they finish regardless of how nice or mean they are?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that.
I mean, look at the NFL. All them players make millions of dollars, right? That's their goal. That's where they want to be. Many of them play anywhere from 1 to 4 years, right?
Right.
So some of them, some of them beat their wives and domestic violence situations and drugs and sometimes
Murder.
even murder, things like that. And they still come out on top. They still getting paid, even though they got the slander and all that. Now they're still getting money. Look at
OJ.
what's Buddy name in Texas right now? Watson, that played for the Texans. Somebody said that he was involved in alleged rape and things like that. He lived his dream. He's playing ball. He's still able to play ball and all that stuff. He's still making money. But it don't last forever. So many of them get into it. They get their money. They don't get back to the community. They don't do none of those things. They keep it all for themselves. And so then that's when it goes downhill.
Well, I have a little bit of a different understanding because I'm looking at it not necessarily like where people finish in life, but specific situations. Like I hear people all the time say, like nice people finish last. I finished last because I was nice to this person, or I lent this person money and I didn't get it back, and I finished last because I was nice. Or I'm in this relationship and I'm just being nice to this person and I shouldn't have been nice, and that's why this relationship failed. Or I've been at this job and I've done everything right, I've been the nice person, and I'm finishing last because now they want to fire me.
No, they need to change it. They need to change it from nice people finish last to naive people finish last. Like if you were nice and lent somebody some money, you have to lend that money with the expectation of, you might not get that money back. You might not see that money again. There's no guarantees that this person's going to follow through you, but you hope that they, you hope you try to only lend to people you trust, but if this person turns around and stabs you in the back, you got to go in with that expectation. Like, I might not see this money again, but I know I'm doing the right thing. So whether I get it back or not, I know I'm on the up and up. And if this person decides to do some shady stuff, number one, they've lost my trust, and they know, I'm never going to lend them money again. But if people go into it lending the money and then they think 100% they're going to get it back, that's where the naivety comes in, because people can do anything.
And I think, and one thing that I wanted to say, which is probably going to be controversial, but I don't think nice people finish last because they're nice. I think they finish last because they're weak.
Ooh.
Why?
Uh-oh.
So
What do you mean by weak?
What I mean by weak is, so if you finish something, that makes the assumption that you started it, right?
Say it with your chest.
So if you finish something, that makes the assumption that you started it. Okay. What I found with people that are the self-proclaimed nice people is they never like to admit that they started something, but they always want to be at the finish line to say, look at me, look at me, look at all the things that I did and all the things that I deserve.
What?
In order to finish a race, you have to start it. But if you never go into a situation and make boundaries, and you never go into it and say what you expect out of that situation, and then when everything is at the end of it and rewards are being handed out and you're standing there and nobody's giving you a trophy for the things you think you should have gotten a reward for, you have to look at yourself and say, did I actually explain what I wanted in this situation? Did I even start the race to be able to finish it? So what I'm saying is that if you find yourself saying, oh, I'm this nice person, but I don't seem to be getting what I want out of situations, ask yourself, did I go into this situation and make it clear what my expectations were in the beginning? Because I'm a sole believer that in order to finish a race, you actually have to start it. And that's how you start a race, in my opinion, is setting boundaries and putting expectations out up front. You can't say you're in a race, get to the finish line, not get a reward, and then talk about, well, I was in the race too. It's like, nah, you was in the bleachers. You didn't want to start the race, but you just walked out on the field, went to the finish line, everybody else out of breath, and you standing there like, I was in the race too. No, you wasn't. You didn't have the courage to start because you were too weak for whatever reason, in my opinion. And that's why you're standing here saying that you finished last.
That's not a nice person.
I need an example.
So an example is, so let's say, let's say
I'm just,
let's say two people
I just
go
need
out
some
let's say
clarity.
two people go out on a date, right? Let's say
Okay.
there's a man and a woman, they go out on a date, and it's nobody talks about who's paying, but it's expected that the guy is paying, right? So let's say that the guy
Expected by who?
just in that relationship, like they don't talk about it, but in society, it's expected that men pay for things when they go out on date.
So in their greater society, it's expected
Correct.
that the man will pay. Oh,
and
okay.
it's assumed, nobody talks
What about
about it.
within their relationship?
They haven't
what-
talked
what-
about it yet.
They
They
ain't
have
never been on a date before. This is the first date.
This is the first date. They're on their first date. They go to Red Lobster. The bill's like $150.
Red Lobster?
Why you spend $150 at Red Lobster? What you get?
I'm trying to get through this example. Okay, the bill is like $150.
Hot and juicy.
It gets to the end and it's time to pay, and the girl is like, he got it, and he's sitting there like, wow, I did everything right. I was nice. I held the door open for you. I did all this. I did all that. And this is how you gonna do me? You gonna make me pay for it all? And he complaining about it. And then after the date, he pays for it. But she's like, I don't want to go on another date for you. And he tell his homies like, nice guys finish last. I paid for the meal. I opened doors for her. I picked her up. Go ahead.
I need some clarification within the story.
Okay.
So he's complaining he had to pay for the date.
Yeah, he's
to the
complaining.
girl?
Yes, he's complaining.
And then she said she don't want to go on another date with him.
She don't want to go on another
because
date.
he's complaining.
Yes.
And so now he's mad.
Now he's in his feelings talking about, I did everything right. I was nice. I did all this. And she didn't even want to go half on the bill with me. And it's like, he'll go back and say, nice guys finish last. I did everything right. But he wasn't upfront in the situation. Like, if you know that it's expected for men to pay on dates and you had a problem with that and you didn't say that up front because you didn't want to scare her away before the date,
that's on you.
You were, in my opinion, you were weak. Like, if you knew you didn't want to pay and you know that it's expected that you're going to pay, then it's up to you to say that up front. But if you don't, because you're too afraid, and then at the end of it, when you don't get the results you like, now you're saying it's because you were nice. No, it's because you were weak.
If you live in a society where you know that's the standard and you go into a situation knowing that that's the standard, if you want to deviate from that standard, then you need to let it be known. I don't think that makes him weak. I just think he was, just trying to get with the girl and trying to, I don't know. I don't
exactly.
see that as weakness.
He was trying to get with her, but he didn't want to scare her off and be upfront with her. So he didn't
I wouldn't
disclose
call that. Weak,
that.
though. I would,
Hey, y'all got me messed up.
Okay,
First of all,
go ahead.
listen to this.
go ahead.
If I'm pulling up the Red Lobster,
Yeah. pull up on your bike.
Okay,
Am I
can we
picking-
at
am I
least
picking
change
her
it
up?
from-
You picking her up.
Yeah.
You opening
Okay.
doors for her.
so I pick her up, do all
Let
that.
her parents.
Oh, here he go. Here
We
he
get to the table,
So
Yeah.
full on chivalry.
and then she says,
Okay.
and then she says, "Oh, he got it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got mine.
All right.
What I ate, you got yours. What you
And
mean?
So you a different breed though. It sounds like.
Yeah, because
It sounds.
Table like
You could still be nice. I'm still gonna be nice,
Wait.
but you're not finna put me in a situation. You got me messed up.
But
He got it.
and
Wait, what situation would you be put in?
who put who in the situation by not
Right.
setting an expectation? Was the girl supposed to double check with the dude, or was the dude supposed to let the girl know? Because if you live in a society
Right.
norm, like if the societal norm was that the girl pays for the meal, say that this was a matriarch instead of a patriarch,
If
women were
if-
whatever.
Girl, go.
hold on, if I invite you to go out to eat, I'm saying I say let's go grab a bite to eat, right?
Well, it's not just a friend thing either. It's like a date.
Not
Right.
how.
You and
so-
that's what
So
the story
me and
he
this
gave.
me and
It's
this
a
chick
date.
talking.
It's your
Okay.
girlfriend. That's what
He
he
just-
said.
He just
Yeah,
said not
I
relationship.
didn't say she was a girlfriend. I just said it was a first date.
Yeah.
Well, a prospective girlfriend.
Are you dating?
A
like, are you
potential.
already dating? If you're
A
dating,
potential.
aren't you
If it
going
was
through-
me, I can speak to this because this actually happened to me. I went on a date with a girl and I let her
Robert,
know.
Oh my God.
I let her know up front that she was buying her own movie ticket and
Yeah.
that
Right.
I bought snacks
Yeah.
I would buy them only under the condition that we bought them from the store and snuck them in, but she would have to sneak her own in.
This
I
wasn't
would
me.
buy
Yeah.
it. No, this wasn't you. This was somebody else. So
We know who it was.
nah, this was in Vegas.
I know
It was
who
an
it is.
online dating website. I met up with her. We
What?
went to the movies, and
Really? I didn't know you went on an online dating site.
yeah, I think it was like Plenty of Fish or something.
Oh, that's a sex site. Stay off that.
Well, I was
site.
looking for sex, okay? Anyways,
Yes, sir.
you made me go there.
What?
You made me go there. But anyway,
What?
but here's what I want to say.
Oh.
I did that, but I was up front with her. She was not up front with me. And let me tell you why.
Why?
All right, I'm gonna hurt some feelings with this one, but these pictures,
And then I got something to say.
these
I'm
pictures
just
be
saying.
deceiving. She was a lot heavier than she led me on to believe.
What do you mean heavy?
Okay, so
Right.
she was not.
What do you
up
mean
front.
heavy?
She was
What
not.
do you
up
mean
front.
led you? Was it a full body picture?
No, it was the neck up, and she was about 130 from the neck up. And when I seen her,
No.
she was-
If you didn't see a full body picture, you cannot make assumptions on what the weight is like.
Nah,
The
that,
first
yes, I
hint is
can.
if there are not any full body pictures, they might not be comfortable with their full body weight.
That's on me then. I was expecting.
Yes,
something different.
that's on
I
you.
saw her-
No, it's
I bought
not.
her licorice.
Yes, it is.
I bought her
Oh
licorice.
my god,
and
don't nobody like no
Airheads.
licorice.
I bought
Don't
licorice.
nobody like no
And
licorice.
she wanted licorice. I said, I played it like a G. I said, go get you $5-6 worth of stuff. That was gold back then. $5-6. Go get you $5-6 worth of stuff. I felt proud about my $5-6. Okay. But anyways, it ended because we went and saw this movie and I felt like I was deceived. So she kept trying to hold my hand during the movie. I kept like going like this. Like, I don't want to lead her on. I'm trying to be up front with her. Like, this isn't going to work. I don't want to lead you on.
Did you say that?
I was shying away from it.
No. Did you
I did not-
verbally say that?
I did not tell her at the movie.
Then you was not up
big for
front.
me.
Continue.
That she was
Then
too
you
big.
was not up front.
But no, here wasn't the. I did
It
enough
was a
to where,
shock.
I did enough to where she knew, because after the movie she said we should go to the park and hang out. I said I don't want to go to the park. I said I'm good. I told her I'd take her home. I took her home. She got out of the car crying and ran inside. I turned my music on, went home, and went to work. That's what happened. I say all that to say this.
Right. What is
Okay,
can we get
I'm
to
connecting this.
How does-
Right.
I'm connecting it.
You horrible.
I was upfront with her about paying for everything, and I did not lead her on by continuing to, drag her along, even though I knew I didn't want to be with her because of her weight. All right. I made it very clear to her in the best way I knew how, and it worked because she left my car crying.
Hey, check this out, bro. Listen,
Well,
Yo,
go
I
ahead.
invite
Go
you
ahead. I ain't got
to
no
go
comment.
somewhere, bro.
I ain't got no
If I
comment.
invite
I'm
somebody to
just
go
saying.
anywhere,
Yeah.
it is your responsibility to take care of yourself. If you don't have the money to come out and eat, you need to say that. Don't come out and automatically think I'm gonna pay for you, because I have enough to pay for myself. But if you ain't got the money to come, just say that. Then I can be like, okay, well, I got you. You can get me next time. You know what I'm saying? Then we can communicate. But if you don't say that and you expect me to pay, you're gonna be washing dishes.
this is gonna be
And then I pick you up in my car. I waste my gas to come get you from your place, and I'm supposed to pay. Oh yeah, that's dead. You got me messed up.
I think it's 2021 and we got a different way of doing things.
I
now.
don't mind paying though. Here's the thing. I think it works reverse too.
Y'all
But
wild.
I think men do the same thing, and they have
You just
they-
wildin'.
a lot of men think women lead them on when women do certain things, and then men expect sex out of it. Like if a man takes a woman out, he pays for dinner, he's nice, he picks her up, all these things. A lot of men have the expectation of, oh, well, she's gonna give me some because I was nice. But he's not upfront in the beginning, like, hey, I'm only taking you out on this date because I want this.
That's misleading.
Neither is she though, because that's if
But
we
who
gonna
was
be if we gonna
misleading
be
first?
hold on if we gonna be
Baby?
honest
But how was she? I don't get that though. I'm
What-
so
what if she-
confused right
because
now.
what if
How
she-
was she
what-
misleading by accepting a date Okay,
She didn't
how was she
know.
misleading?
Maybe she didn't.
So you're telling me that when you go on a date, you're obligated to just throw the punani out there? You got to throw it back in circles and make it clap because you went on a date?
Wait a second, Ty. What you been doing out here? What you been doing out here?
I'm just trying to figure out
and make it clap. What?
I'm just trying to figure out.
Man, young lady.
You just talked about made somebody cry from back in the house.
I got a question for Fitz.
Wait, I'm just trying to figure out how going on a date with somebody is like a 50-50 or 80-20 or shit. Shoot, any percentage of them giving it up. Like, how is that? That I don't see how she's misleading in that aspect. I feel like the guy had expectations. His expectations weren't met, so now he in his feelings. That's why you don't have expectations.
Let me ask you a question. If you go on a date, if you go on a date with somebody, it's not in your mind that they're thinking about doing something with you.
Well, see, I'm a whole different breed. Okay, let me break it down.
But let me just answer yes or no.
Break it.
Answer yes or no.
I'm gonna answer, but I'm gonna break it down for you.
But just yes or no, because I have a follow-up question.
No, wait, no. But I gotta break it down.
Okay.
Yes, especially when I go on a date, because you gotta. But
okay,
anyway.
let me ask you a follow-up question because I think you're gonna. Let me ask you a follow-up question. If it's in your mind that you think that he wants to have sex with you because you're going on the date, how come you don't let him know up front, or do you?
See, that's why I said I'm a different breed. I let it be known before we even discuss the date.
What do you say?
That you don't have a chance in hell of getting none of my cookies in this particular point in time.
But they don't believe it.
Front. That's your personal problem because I told you. And personally, I'm not going to accept an invitation to a date to where I can't pay for myself because that exact reason. Because you start letting men do stuff for you, then they expect little sugar trinkets, little droppets along the way. That's not how this works. No. So I will pay for myself. And if you catch me on a good day, if I'm really feeling your vibe, I might even pay for you too. But just because... No.
Do you look down on him if he doesn't? And
no.
So he show up in a $200,000 car. He make you pay for your meal. You not.
It's not a make because I'm putting my card out on the table automatically. My card, I use cash, but
let her pay. You gonna feel good about that.
I'm not gonna feel good about it, but I'm not about to sit here and cry and do all this extra nonsense. No.
Do you go on another date?
Now, if I have a $250 bill and mine is $50 and yours is $200, and you not even. If he's crying about it, why would I go on a date with him if he's crying about it?
He didn't say he was crying about it.
Well, then reiterate the question because
he said
he was complaining.
Go ahead, Ty.
That she wasn't going half and half with him, and that she expected him to pay, and he was complaining is like, how are you gonna expect me to pay? And then she didn't go on another date with him because he complained like that. Yeah. But we live. The key here is the societal norms. That's the key. If the societal norm was not that men are expected to pay, then of course you would be surprised if the woman's over here looking at you like I expect you to pay, because that's out of the norm. But if that is the norm, if that's the expectation, if you're going to deviate from what's normal, you got to let people know. If the norm is to go left and you want to go right, there's a 90% chance plus that everyone's going to be trying to go left. So if you're trying to go right, you got to let people know I'm going to the right. If you don't say that and to the intersection, to the crossroad, and you start going right, and then they start going left, and you looking at them like, hey, I'm trying to go right. What y'all doing? No, you cannot you can't put that on. Let them know.
Hey,
to answer the question though, real quick, I would go on another date if he didn't complain. If I had to still pay for everything, if he was really like in that moment, just didn't want to be upfront that he didn't have it in that moment, depending on how he handles the situation, then yeah. But next time I'm gonna just let it.
For sure he got it.
I'm gonna just let it be. Then if he got it, then we're gonna have to have a conversation because I feel some type of way. But I'm not just gonna cross it off the table because it's like, why do you expect me to pay and not you? If I'm whipping my card out, I want you to be whipping yours out too.
Go ahead, Ty.
That's all I'm saying.
Don't want to have to yell over nobody. No.
Right. We're all being respectful. We being good today.
Hush.
And I can't yell today anyway. So
What?
Hey, first off, y'all talking about punani. My thing is, you already if you schedule a date.
No,
right?
don't.
Hold on.
You was in there too, Tatiana.
Robert brought up the man.
Listen,
What?
if y'all if you schedule a date, right? You schedule a date,
Yep.
Look at
Put
you.
it
and
in my Google Calendar.
what are y'all? If you figure out what y'all are doing, then you'll know if it's gonna lead to what it's gonna lead to. You feel me? If you just going to dinner,
No.
that's just going to hold on. I'll wait. Exactly. You know what it's gonna lead to. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, don't we already pay for the cookie anyways?
Huh?
And if y'all think about it, men really pay for the cookie.
What is this world that we live in that y'all
Okay.
Hold on, Tatiana, relax.
What?
Let me finish my perspective. Dang,
What is
y'all want
Paying for the cookie.
we talking about? We paying for the
check this out.
Let him
for
finish.
sexual relations.
You
Right.
basically y'all gonna let me finish or what? Dang,
Y'all finish, y'all done.
right? All three of y'all.
Dude, I'll chew it, y'all.
You basically pay for the cookie because you gotta think men are taking women out on dates to woo them.
But they ain't paying. I'm sorry.
Not finished. Dang. In the long run, when you're going on a date, okay, men are paying. Okay, may not be the first time. Y'all just getting to know each other. It's new, but after the second, third, fourth time, they might be paying. But they're paying to woo you. They're taking you out on dates, buying you flowers, doing this, doing that, blah 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 blah. What does that lead to?
I get what
A kiss on the cheek and a good night. What the hell?
Maybe
better
for you
go-
because you're
I'm
a nun.
sorry.
and in the long
No, ain't nobody no nun. It has nothing to do with being a nun.
I just got something. So basically, what we're describing
What?
is the mating
Constitution.
yes.
of young adults in our society.
Ain't
Well,
nobody
correct.
prostituting.
No, we're not talking about prostitute. Listen, what he's saying
Did I
is
hear that right on my
He's
headphone?
saying
I don't
this,
know if
he's
it
saying
went out or.
process. There's a process to get to the punani. That's what he's saying. There's a
But
process.
you can get to the punani more with things that don't cost money versus you
That's
wanting to
part
whip
of
your
the-
money
what?
out.
Dude, that's
And if
That's a part of the vocabulary.
that's
You
still
need to
part of the.
preach,
That's
focus on the
okay.
women
I
you
have.
have
I
been
do have a
around.
follow up
I'm
question.
saying.
I do have a follow up question. So let's close up with the punani. Let's close the punani up and let's.
Wait though, because I'm still not understanding. Because I
Okay.
asked for the example because you said you think that weak people finish last.
Okay, let
They
me
do.
give another. Let me give
But
another.
I don't feel that in the example you gave
Let-
that he was weak.
Let me give
I just
another
feel like he
example.
didn't set his boundaries, but not
That's
because
what
he
I'm
was
talking.
weak.
That's what
She
made
didn't
it.
set her boundaries.
Let me give another
They
example.
both didn't set their boundaries.
Let me give another
I'll
example.
take that.
Let me give another
More
example.
on him though to set the boundary because there's a societal
Whoa,
norm.
whoa,
Let me-
whoa. It's on the women too. Women got a mouth.
I
They know how
feel
to
like it's on both parts, but because of societal norms, like
Period.
Tati was saying,
I don't
it's
live by
more
those norms.
expected of
Sorry.
then you need to make that known that you don't live by society's regular rules.
Hey, if they ain't paying attention, that's on them, not me.
Okay,
I can only hold the sign up for so long, brother.
Where the sign?
This is what I'm getting at. Okay. This is why I say I don't think nice people finish last. I think that because they're nice, I think they finish last because they're weak, is because even outside of dating, right? Just an example, like Shalisha, you're coming down here to live with us. What would we look like, like if we had some boundaries or whatever, and we never discussed them with you, but we really wanted you to know them. Like these were things that we didn't want you to do or something like that. And we never told you about them. We never said anything about them. And then you come down and you start doing these things and you don't even know that we have an issue with it. We never bring it up, none of that. And then one day it just becomes too much and we blow up and we like, you know what, this ain't working out. You gotta go. We've been nice to you. Nice people finish last. Like we was nice and you came here, you took advantage of us. You did all this stuff. You don't respect us, all this other stuff.
I will say.
What would we look like if
So
we
wait,
boundaries at first, but we expected you to know those boundaries?
Please no,
That's
please
what I
no.
mean by that's what I mean by they're weak. I'm not saying that's happening. I'm just giving a practical example of
well, I don't
set the boundaries
classify
in the
that as being
beginning.
weak.
if we try to hold you to boundaries that we never set, and then we say that you took advantage of us because we were too nice to you, then I feel like we were weak. We were too weak to tell you what we wanted, and we took it as you taking advantage of us, but you didn't know what we wanted. We were too weak to tell you. And then
now, are weak and timid the same thing?
yes, to me, excuse me, can you please not do? Hey, we have an issue with this. This has
Let
to
me
be
use an example.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. It's a personal example.
Okay, now we getting somewhere.
What?
Okay.
It better not be nothing about clapping and
Don't you say that.
You got a week left in Vegas. Don't you go out. Don't you go out. Don't go out with a bang. You don't got to do it.
What you mean? I'm not clapping nothing for nobody. You better chill out over here.
I don't know what loose ends you got to tie up.
Advertising for that. Can we still put up the ads? Because we was talking about certain words. Is that not one of them words?
You don't
know. Y'all
all right, what you got to say, Shalisha?
Okay, so
what?
In the example, I'll tell you after the podcast. In the example that you gave, so I have a personal example. So what you're saying is, if I would have never texted you and been like, Robert, I want a dog, and I showed up with a dog, and then you was like, oh, but you can't have no dog. You're saying you guys would have been weak because you didn't specify that you didn't want no animals.
No, what I'm saying is like, if we're not aware that you're gonna do that, like if you never mention it,
right? Because we didn't. You
didn't. Then that's one thing. But if you said, if you like what you did, you called and said, hey, there's this animal. Can we keep the animal? And I was just like,
right.
I didn't give you an answer. I was just like, I don't know. It's I don't really know how I feel like, and I just kept it at that, and there was never an answer. And then you bring the dog, and I have a problem with it, but I still don't say anything. And then months go by, the dog's pooping and peeing everywhere. I still don't say anything, and stuff is happening. And then 7 months go by, and then I just blow up, and I'm like, you got this dog here. You've been disrespectful. You brought this dog down. And then it's just like, I was weak because I didn't address it when I knew it was an issue and I knew I had a problem with it. And this is what I'm saying. Nice people hide behind, or self-proclaimed nice people, because I don't even want to use the word nice. I want to use the word weak. Weak people hide behind the veil of being nice so that they can make an excuse for not telling people what it is that they want. That's what I think. I think that they're too scared to say what they want, so they just let it ride, and then they get their little courage up and they say something, and then it's like, oh, you took advantage of me because I'm so nice. No, I didn't know I was taking advantage of you. You never told me what you wanted. And now that you found it within yourself to tell me, now you want to put your weakness on me when it's really yourself that you're mad at. And most likely, if the situation happens again, you'll probably let it happen again if you think that you just got taken advantage of because you were being nice.
Okay, I understand. I agree.
Right. Like, I understand what you're saying. I just don't know.
Do you agree or disagree?
I don't know. Okay. So no, the puppy's gone. It's in the
shelter. Is that a pin?
Yeah. So I agree with the concept of what you're saying. Wait, what'd you say?
I said if you find a cat,
yeah, I don't like cats.
No animals.
Girl, it was a little dog. It was a little puppy baby dog.
I'll train the dog.
What were you gonna say, Shalisha?
Okay, but I get so as a whole, as far as what you're saying, I get what you're saying. But in some situations, I just personally wouldn't use weak as the word for it.
What would you?
I don't know. I wouldn't. I mean, yes, to an extent, like some people who, how do I word this? Like, I don't know. It would depend on the situation. Like, I understand what you were saying in your examples and them being weak. But for instance, if we're going back, just because this is an example that you use, that I wouldn't use the word weak. And I don't feel like weak and timid are the same. I don't like, they're similar, but I don't feel like they're exactly the same. I wouldn't necessarily call somebody weak. I would more so say they're timid, or like Tati was saying, naive in some certain situations. I wouldn't just be like, oh, you're weak.
There's a
So I
difference
get-
between that though. There's a difference
I
between being
get-
naive.
Uh-huh.
There's a difference between being naive and being weak, because naive is just like you don't actually know what's going on, but being timid or weak is like you know what's happening. Timid is like that's what it is.
Being timid is more like shy, you know, not able to just come out. And I wouldn't say being shy is called being weak. I don't know.
You don't have the courage to stand up for yourself. What's that called? Weak.
No, I would just say you're lacking some courage. I wouldn't call you weak.
That's still weak though.
In the situation that the McDonald brothers found them in,
I don't know. I just wouldn't.
Real quick, has everyone here seen The Founder? Does everyone know what I'm talking about?
No, but I did see Super Size Me.
Oh, so The Founder is on Netflix. If you feel like watching it, it's up there. It's long story short, the McDonald brother got to this point where this dude who got super interested in their business tried to basically pull the rug out from under them and stole it from them, basically in this really weird, shady situation. So in that situation, for those of us here who are familiar with it, would you say that the McDonald brothers were weak in that situation?
I don't necessarily.
100%.
So when I say weak, once they knew about it, they did fight them with lawyers and stuff like that.
They just didn't have
but
as much money.
They weren't. Oh, I don't think they have the business savvy to be aware that something was going on, like that. So I think that's a little different than what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is it's straight in your face. You know this is happening. You want to say something about it, but you don't. And you continue to let it go on. And then it blows up and then you finally get the courage because your adrenaline's pumping. You had a good day at the gym. You watch some Eric Thomas and you're motivated. And then you decide to say something. And then you put it all on the other person. Like, you took advantage of me. You're just, nice people finish last type of deal. Not, there was some stuff going on in the shadows like Batman and I just didn't know about it. They did fight once they found out. But I did want to ask a follow-up question, which is, if nice people are so nice, how come they're not nice to themselves? Well, if they're getting
like some are and some aren't.
So in your example, I have a question then. And I challenge anybody.
My example with the dog?
No, like you were talking about, you wouldn't use the word weak, right? So I challenge anybody on this podcast, right?
Okay.
Anybody, name one person that gets what they want and is weak.
I'm antisocial.
Shalisha.
I am not weak.
But what I'm saying is, no, I'm not saying weak. I'm saying, I bet you can give examples. Everyone on this podcast can give an example of someone that they know where it's like, maybe that person doesn't even get what they want, but I'm going to, like, if they're against something, I'm going to know. Like, I'm going to feel it. They're going to let me know. We all know those people in our lives. And we also know those people where it's like, I could probably get over on them if I really wanted to. Maybe I'm not that type of person, but, if I wanted to take it there, I know who I could get over on, and I know who not to mess with.
An example of someone who gets what they want that's also weak?
No. Yeah.
Yeah?
Who?
Babies.
Huh?
Okay.
She got a point though.
Wrong.
I'm not saying
go, girl. Go,
I'm not saying
girl.
physically weak. I'm saying a person in your life. A person in your life. We all know those people in our lives where it's like, even if they don't get anything, you're still going to know, like, they're not okay with this. They're going to let you know. And then there's those people where it's like, that you can try them and nothing's really going to happen. They're not going to speak up for themselves.
What if you know somebody who...
Go ahead.
Okay, wait. I was gonna say, what if you know somebody who is, because you were giving the example, somebody to not try and somebody to try with, right?
Yeah.
So what if you have somebody who won't tell that person, but will tell somebody else to then go and fix the problem or whatever?
That's weak. How are you gonna have somebody else go tell somebody something for you like it's sixth grade?
But they get what they want, though. You said
you're a grown.
You just. I get what you're saying, but you said an example. That was my example. It's somebody who gets what they wanted is weak. That was what it was. That I know somebody.
Does the other person know it came from them?
What came from them?
That like I guess I'm
coming to them came for them.
What I'm saying is like you're saying that something happens to me, but I'm too scared to go tell that person. So I tell.
So you tell me, and then I'm coming to that person 10 times fold, and we doing what they got to do.
So I have to go through you to tell somebody else something.
Yeah.
And you don't consider that weak?
No, I do. You said give an example. That was my example. Somebody who, because they're still getting what they want, because at the end it's getting resolved, but they're not necessarily the one resolving it.
Okay, I guess that could count as an example. I was more
that's an example.
A one-on-one.
You asked for an example. I gave an example. Tati gave babies. That was my example.
Babies is a bad example.
Because you said you was like, bet you can't name somebody. So I had to run through the people I know in my life, and I know somebody like that.
Name the name.
I found a group.
But here's the thing. What happens when that person that you go run and tell to go tell somebody, what happens when you have an issue with them?
With who?
Like me. If I'm too scared.
Oh, with the you in the story. If I have an issue with you.
If I'm too scared to tell somebody something, so I tell somebody else to tell them, what happens when me and the person that I tell to go tell everybody else stuff have an issue?
Huh? What?
So you and the messengers having an issue. Me and you's having an issue.
What happens when
I'm me and you? Right. I mean, in the example I was using, we don't have issues, but
that's unrealistic though. At some point,
it's not
like stop being a punk. You know, like.
I mean, yeah, it depends though, because if I feel like I don't know. I feel like if you bring up how you truly feel in the heat of the argument, you're a coward. Because if you truly cared about them, you should have been telling them what you thought was going to benefit them and help them before y'all got into it, is all I'm saying. But yeah, that can happen.
Being a middleman for somebody over the long term, I don't think would ever benefit someone.
No, it's not. But what I'm saying is I was just saying, because you were like, what if they got into it and then the middleman got mad and was like, oh, you gotta stop being a coward.
Not got mad, but just was like, hey, we have a legitimate issue.
Right. I was just saying, I feel like you should have told them the issue before that you got mad.
I tell them.
Yeah, that's all I was saying.
To say something.
At least they know what it is.
Now that relationship burns and they just sitting in their room, typing stuff on Facebook under an anonymous name, hoping stuff gets done. What you got to say, Ty? You've been quiet. I know you got some flame.
Hey, y'all got it, bro.
So let me rephrase the question then, or let me restate the question. If nice people are so nice, why aren't they nice to themselves? What do you think of when you hear that?
I think of society that puts value on putting other people before yourself. And then people get mad when they do that because those people forget about them. But you ain't set no expectation for them people to treat you a certain way. So you can't really complain about finishing last or being forgotten because you didn't set the boundaries. That's your fault. Did nobody tell you to put nobody first? Who told you that? Did yourself tell you that? No. You follow somebody else. That's your fault. You weak. 100%, because then they want to complain in the dark, and that person is a coward because they're like, oh, I do everything for all these people, blah, 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 blah. and then they don't do nothing for me, or they don't worry about me. That's your fault. That's your fault for not saying nothing or establishing boundaries. That's like getting into a
I
relationship.
got a question.
What's your question?
Okay, so are you walking with the right intentions if you're expecting something back from the other people? Like, is that truly being nice? Because when I do something nice, I'm not expecting something in return.
He asked if why don't nice people be nice to themselves? And I said that society places a value on putting other people before yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Just because you put somebody before yourself doesn't mean you nice.
That's what I was
I
gonna
was just
say.
asking a question.
What I think that you can, I think that there's this myth out there that if you want something in return, that means that you're not nice. Like if, you know, if I risk my life for you, I want you to like, I have some expectations. You know, I don't want to risk my life for you, and then tomorrow you go do something and die anyways. I could have lived. So I have some expectation. If I'm gonna risk my life for you, then there's some things that I expect of you. I'm not just out here risking my life. So, you know, if I lend you some money or something, I probably have expectations. I'm not just out here like, here you go. You know, same thing. Like there's this myth. I really feel like that you can't do something and want something back in return because that makes you a bad person. But that's just not how we really operate. I don't think you can truly be 100% altruistic, even if you go into it with the intentions of, I don't want anything. The moment that person crosses you, first thing you're going to do is think about all the times you were there for them and all the things that you've done for them. And how could they do this? And how could they do that? And they're betraying me and they're taking advantage of my trust. And, you know, I've done all these things for them. So how could they even think this or do that? So it's like there's a difference between intentions and the way that we operate as humans on a physiological level. Like I really feel like even the most disciplined person, they're still going to see, like it's still going to cross their subconscious mind if something shady is happening. They're at some point they're going to have to make a decision. Okay, I keep doing this and keep feeling this way, or I set some boundaries and I let those boundaries be known. Because you can go into some, like say you offer somebody a ride, like you have a coworker or something, and you're just offering them a ride to be nice. You don't expect nothing back, but then 5 days in a row, now it's a month and you still giving them a ride and they ain't offered no gas. Nah,
Facts.
you got to
Facts, bro.
like at a certain point, it's like, hey, I was being nice at first. I really didn't want anything back. I thought it was going to be like a 1 or 2 time thing, but it's every day now. I need gas money now. Like I was cool, just a 1 or 2 thing, but it's everyday thing now. Here's my boundaries. Here's what I want out of this. Like I don't mind giving you a ride, but I'm giving you something. Let's make it work for both of us. A win-win. A win-win. It doesn't have to be a win-lose.
Hey, it makes me think about people who buy dogs, like these designer dogs and stuff, and they have a certain expectation, like German Shepherds, Belgian Malinois, Cane Corsos. They expect these are some, police dogs, military. They expect them to be a certain way. So when they buy them, they don't put all the effort and time into them. So then when they get older, and dogs, if you let them develop a certain personality, they will bully you. This is their house. They're gonna do what they want to do when they feel like it. So when they buy them and do all those things, then they get mad because they didn't set structure, they didn't set discipline, rules, and they just didn't put the time in. It's literally people's fault when a dog just doesn't do what you need it to do. It's your fault. You don't provide the structure, the training, nothing.
Like I always say, go pay your bills with your niceness. You know, like go to your landlord, go to the bank, go to the grocery store and be like, but I'm nice. They're gonna be like, okay, but this has to be a win-win. You have to give us something in order for us to give you something back. Why do you want it to be a win-lose? You just want to come in here and take the groceries that we paid to get and walk out and you do nothing? Like, oh, so you're not nice? You're not nice, Walmart, Kroger? You didn't give me something for free and I don't, like.
Well, no, that's not it. I think it's actually mean on the part of the person that just expects to be able to get the stuff without helping this person. Like they bought these things with the intention to sell. That's why there's price tags on them. Knowing that they have that intention and then asking to get them for free, I think that is actually mean. And
Mhm.
because it's like you're basically like you're taking food out of their mouth because they worked hard to get to this point where they have a store, and all now they have 2 stores and 10 stores and 20 stores. Like before there used to be only one, and now that they get to a certain point and they found success, and now you kind of come in and however big or small the business may be, now you're coming in saying, hey, I'm nice, give me free stuff. But I think that's not really nice.
So then let me ask you guys all a question, right? Why do we let people come and take the stuff we built up in our lives for free, but we don't go to a grocery store and expect to get their stuff for free?
Well, if we're letting them, I mean, are we letting them because we built this stuff up with the intention of sharing these things with those people? Like, for example, generational wealth. Do you have children that you built wealth up and you had that intention of passing it on to them? And if so, when those children come in and they're going to college and they have college bills and all these different things, expenses that are coming along the way, if you're sitting here talking about generational wealth and helping, doing hand ups, not handouts for your children, and you see them putting in work and effort to, get along in life too, when it comes time to, pass on that wealth, and now you're talking about, I don't want to pass on that wealth, or you're not going to get it till I die. Now that's you switching up. That's different. Did you intend to did you put out the narrative that I intended to build this up to share with these specific groups, or were you coming out the gate saying this is mine, and for no one else all along? Like, did you set those expectations? And it comes back to that. What expectations did you set when you started building this wealth? Because people will see you with the wealth. You can't hide it forever. You're going to get so big. That's why you set those expectations before you have the money, so that when you get the money, you don't have a bunch of people knocking at your door thinking, hey man, I'm your cousin, I'm your third cousin, I'm your family. Like all these people that like these, you hear about rich people find wealth all the time. They make it to the league or whatever, and now this third cousin, this person over here that they only met once or twice, and maybe not even at all, but they just related, come along like, hey, fam, what's up? Yeah, I need some help with this car note. Can you throw me a line? And it's, if you didn't put out that
weak-minded.
Oh, and they'll find you, and if you don't let it be known from the get-go, and you put out this kind of like, I don't know, then that's on the person with the money.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Don't hurt to ask. You just gotta let them know.
What do you guys think? And I know we're getting close on time, so maybe we'll go into the practical piece of advice. If we are, does anyone else have anything else to say about what we've talked about today?
I think everybody did it justice. Go, girl.
I just want to add, I can't stress if you saying one thing about passing on wealth, doing this, that, and the third, I want to share this. This is for these groups of people, and then those groups of people come along and say, hey, I need help with this. The wealth where I'm ready to receive what you said you would pass, and then you start talking about no, and mine, and this and that. You switching up. You saying one thing and doing another. Would you consider that weak based on your definition, or would you just consider that shady?
Shady.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
How is it shady?
I
wouldn't consider. I think that's a little bit different. I wouldn't consider it,
because you're saying one thing and doing another.
I wouldn't. But if Fitz says I want to build generational wealth for my family, my wife, and my kid, that don't involve nobody else.
No, I'm talking about
right. That's what she's saying. If the wife and the kids, then at the end they don't get no generational wealth, and it's just Robert with all his money.
So let's say,
he could do that too. That's
let's
his money.
say that was the case.
But
I wouldn't consider.
But he said in the beginning that this was for these groups, that I was going to pass this on to these groups, that if these groups ever need money, I got them. And when those groups come along with situations where they need money, like the kid went to college, they got this college bill, whatever. And he's now saying, no, I don't want to help you with your college bill. You on your own with that. You know, I'm not obligated to fulfill anything, but that's the narrative you're putting out. What is that? Is that, I don't know if that's an example.
I would consider that
misleading.
I would consider it something different. I wouldn't consider it necessarily weak, but what I would say is that, you know, things may have changed for that. I guess me in this hypothetical situation, you know, like in the beginning, maybe it was like, you know, oh, I want to do this for, you know, because, and this actually happened to me. It's like you start out and you see your family struggling, you know, and then it's like, oh, I want to make it so that I can help my family. But then as time goes on and you're going through the grind and you look around and you're trying to bring people along with you and nobody wants to come and, you know, nobody wants to put forth the effort that you're putting in, but then they want to reap the rewards. That's a little different. But I think that's different than what you're saying. You're talking about something else. But what I'll say to that is, if you're holding somebody to what their word is, why are you choosing one version of them over the other version? Like, why are you picking the version that benefits you? Like, if you're going based on what they said and you're respecting what they said, why not respect what they said, even if it doesn't benefit you? Like, I get that is like you were expecting these things from this person because they said it, but at the same time, you know, people lie, people change their mind, people, you know, say stuff just to look good on Instagram and Facebook. That is what it is. Unfortunately, it happens. But I wouldn't consider it weak. I would just consider it, you know, just a person that didn't know what they wanted, and now they know more what they wanted, and for whatever reason, you're not in their vision. And so unfortunately, that happens.
Yeah, you know, it's just whatever you say, you know, I don't expect you to lie, but you know, it's not about whether or not it benefits me. I just want the truth.
Yeah.
And if they're still lying, that's what I'm saying. If you say one thing and do another, like ongoing, like you still saying it, but you're not doing it. You're saying you're living this, but you're not living it. That type of thing. You know, that's confusing. That's misleading. That's different. If they change their mind, that's different, you know, because you saying it and you being upfront with it, and that's honest, and I can respect that. But when you start lying and cheating, that's when it's like, okay, what is that? Is that weakness, or what? You know, does that apply to what we talking about here?
It's a little off, but what are you guys' practical pieces of advice for nice people finishing last? What do you got to say to these saints of the world, perfect people that are just out here doing everything for everybody else?
I don't know who came up with that phrase, but it's really ignorant. I don't believe
it was like a baseball player or something in like 1964. Really? Girl, I told you, yes, it's in my histories, because when Robert struggled with, when he brought this topic up, I didn't know how to answer it. So I had to be like, well, how are people putting this out there? And it was like 1964 some, yeah, it was like a baseball player or football player, some. It
might be true though. It might be true.
So what's your guys' practical piece of advice?
My practical piece of advice is, it got nothing to do with how you are. Okay, that determines if you finish last. It's about how knowledgeable you are with what you're dealing with. It's about how naive or well versed you are in what you're dealing with, you know, and it's about how timid or upfront you are when you're setting those boundaries and expectations. Those are the things that determine whether or not you get what you want, you know, out of a situation. Or did you lay out those expectations, and were you knowledgeable before you went into this situation? You know, before you go get yourself a home loan, maybe you should take some time to learn how mortgages work, so you don't end up in a predatory loan situation, you know, where you got this bad rate and all this other stuff, and someone's letting you take out a loan, you know, that you actually can't afford. That's why we had that 2008, 2009, 2010 recession. People were getting home loans that they had no business getting, because all you needed to do was, you know, have a pulse and have a credit score, and that was it. You know, now we got all kinds of rules and regulations, but it's because of foolishness back then that now all these rules and regulations had to be created, you know, and if we had just done the right thing, people went into situations not, you know, being more informed, you know, that would have never happened.
All right. What do you got to say, Ty?
Don't be weak. I think the specific quote applies to one situation, but I'll save it for next time.
All right.
Well, that was
I'll
very
be waiting.
So what was your advice?
advice.
What's your practical piece? Don't be weak.
Don't be weak. What you mean?
Oh, I missed it. I'm just asking.
Well, you weak because you
clarification.
missed it.
But you didn't.
Missed it.
What you got to say,
Say
Shalisha? What's your practical piece
I
of
would
advice?
say it's good to have boundaries within any forms of relationships with other people, but most important, you have to have boundaries within yourself. And you just have to hold yourself to, I don't know, like, do what you got to do, put yourself on that pedestal, but you're putting all this energy into other people and not putting it into yourself. You're being nice to all these people and not being nice to yourself, and it's not going to get you nowhere. Self-love is the best love.
Yes.
Yeah, that way. Fix your face.
My practical piece of advice is just to be.
I would say that to you, but you can't.
What?
I was born this way.
My practical.
I would have asked God why.
We'll ask him after the
He
podcast.
knew what he was doing.
My practical piece. We'll ask him after the podcast. My practical piece of advice is, if you are weak, just admit it to yourself. Like, there's no reason to hide it. There's no reason to try to look up different definitions and say, well, you know, I'm classified. Like, you weak. There's nothing wrong with it. Just admit you're weak and make a decision whether you want to stay weak. Because if you're the best weak person you can be, that's better than thinking you're a strong weak person. Like, if you think you're strong but you're actually weak, you're probably gonna fail. Like, this is probably gonna keep happening. But if you know you're weak and you're like, you know what, I ain't got the energy to put up with this. It is what it is. I'm gonna just stay in my little zone and be timid. I'm cool with people doing this and doing that. I'm gonna just focus on this and dominate in that area. Cool. Do you? That works for some people. But it's the people that they don't recognize that they're being weak and they continue going out there blaming other people for them not having the things that they want in life. Those are the people that are really going to feel the negative impact of actually being weak. So if you want to transform that weakness into a strength, what I would say is focus on things that make you great. Focus on those things and stop trying to be something that you're not. Like, if you're not the type of dude that is able to speak up for yourself, figure out why and find a way to speak up for yourself in a way that you're okay with and you're comfortable with. But do find a way to speak up for yourself, be assertive, and just know what you want. Set those boundaries and realize that you're not mean just because you let somebody know what you want. Like, if you went in McDonald's and said, I want a hamburger, and they said, no, you don't, you don't want a hamburger, are you going to say, okay, just throw whatever in the bag? Come on.
Nope.
So why are you
going all the way back to Burger King? Is all I'm saying.
In your life, you saying this is what I want, and someone saying, no, it's not. And you're like, all right, just throw whatever in the bag. Let me pray. And okay, it's good. And you get home and you got some fries in there and you talking about they done did it again. They done messed me over. You didn't tell them what you wanted. And if you did, and they told you no, you didn't make sure that you got what you wanted. So stop blaming other people because what's in your McDonald's bag is not what you asked for.
Restaurants can get funky with it.
Wait, I got a question.
Overcomplicating it.
I got a question.
Hey,
So
go comment, like,
saying
subscribe
what you
from the
said,
bottom podcast.
Yeah.
you ain't nobody. So
ahead.
now saying
Who you
what you
talking to? You better
said,
look in the mirror.
would you go back to Burger King that
I'm Rick
day?
James.
So
What?
if
Bro, ain't nobody go back to Burger King, bro.
I ask for something and they mess the order up, I may or may not go back depending on what they messed up.
Yeah,
but if
that's what
I'm in the restaurant
and you see
and
the food,
I tell them I want a hamburger, and to my face, they tell me, no, you don't want a hamburger.
No, I get what you're saying.
ain't
I was
getting
just
one.
bringing up that topic because I think it's funny.
okay.
You're not.
It happened to
I
me
mean,
and
if you-
Robert,
if-
and
I
I
know
made
you're
him
smarter
drive
than
me back.
I'm not
That's
talking
dead.
about
You
a
got-
messed up order.
Yo,
I'm
you got-
talking
yeah.
about they tell you to your face,
Yeah.
you're not getting what you want, and you sit
Right.
there. But I want a hamburger. But no, you're not getting it. But I just can't tell you. Okay, put whatever in the bag.
Yeah, you're
And then
confusing.
And then you drive home. You open up the bag, knowing they didn't put what you wanted in there. You get home and you
And you're
telling everybody, "Oh, they just taking advantage of me because I'm nice." No,
No,
they
you
told
could've
you
walked
that
up
they
the
was gonna do
restaurant
this.
and-
You let
Right.
them do it, and you playing yourself. But all right, if you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel for more of these great episodes. Like, comment, subscribe. Text Fitzmindset to 22828 for the free
Don't nobody care about the macaroni noodles.
core
Nah,
release
I never seen it
assessment
like this.
for the
two
free
strand
core
twist,
release
fool.
assessment. And
That
from the
looks
bottom
nice.
podcast.
That does look
Bottom.
nice.
Support.